The source material captures this tension so perfectly with this line. The wild has gone completely silent, a heavy, suffocating silence that signals only one thing: an execution is about to take place. Let's actually put ourselves in that scene for a second. Imagine the midday sun just hanging right above the cracked earth like a molten eye. It is so blisteringly hot that the horizon is physically warping and bending, making the distant trees look like they're dancing silhouettes. And there's no wind, no rustle of dry grass, nothing. Just this suffocating, incredibly heavy silence. And, in the wild, when everything goes completely quiet, it's not peaceful at all. It is terrifying. It means the animals know exactly what is about to happen next. Absolute chaos and violence are imminent.
Right at the center of this silent, barren expanse is the prize, a massive mountain of rotting, sun-bloated hippo flesh. Now, to you and me, that's just a monument of decay, right? But out here, to the starving predators of the plains, it is the ultimate currency. It's like finding a winning lottery ticket. And standing right on top of this massive prize is one single, battle-scarred lioness. Her chest is heaving, her muzzle is completely stained crimson, and she is totally isolated. Her pride is miles away, just resting in the shade, totally oblivious to the fact that she has wandered right into the throat of danger. Her muscles are taut like high-voltage cables, because she knows that every single second she spends out here, she is gambling with her life.
And then, the silence is just shattered by this low, bubbling chuckle. It kind of mimics human hysteria, rising right out of the tall grass. A clan of spotted hyenas has arrived on the scene, and this brilliantly illustrates the totally contrasting combat styles of these two apex predators. See, lions, they're the masters of the clean execution. They rely on that one crushing bite to the throat to just end things quickly. But hyenas? Man, what's so fascinating about their behavior here is that they are an entirely different machine. They are masters of attrition, exhaustion, and total psychological warfare. They don't just charge all at once, no. They nip, they harass, and they just slowly wear down their victim's physical and mental resolve until the will to fight simply evaporates.
So, let's break down the anatomy of this siege. The hyena clan is absolutely not some pack of cowardly scavengers. They're a highly militarized unit, and they're led by this massive matriarch. We're talking nearly 80 kilograms, her neck just thick with scar tissue from 100 past skirmishes. First up, they circle the perimeter, snapping jaws that are literally capable of crushing elephant bones. Second, they exploit the lioness's geometry of isolation. The matriarch directs two hyenas to dart right at the lioness's hind legs, and the second the great cat whips around to defend herself, three more rush the front to tear away a chunk of meat. It is a millimeter-perfect, terrifyingly organized assault. And step 3, harass and exhaust. They draw blood. The lioness is forced to back up against the hippo carcass to protect her flanks, essentially turning herself into a fortress under siege.
By now, the lioness is panting heavily. Heat exhaustion is really setting in, and every single move costs vital calories. Meanwhile, that manic laughter of the hyenas, it's traveling on the thermals, actively summoning reinforcements. So the crucial point here is the sheer, overwhelming numbers. 30 cackling hyenas are now completely surrounding the lone queen. The matriarch senses the end is near and lets out this low whoop, which is basically the signal for the final all-out assault. And look, out here, death doesn't care about majesty. The lioness realizes if she stays, she is going to be torn apart. So with one final desperate burst of energy, she leaps right over the front line, claws clearing a path, and she just runs. She completely abandons her claim.
So the hyenas have won the battlefield. They immediately descend into this violent feeding frenzy, bones snapping so loudly you could hear it a mile away. But, in this ecosystem, a bloodbath on land always draws the attention of something much, much older. Just 100 yards away flows the murky, totally opaque Mara River, and it's home to a patient biological machine. For over 70 years, a monstrous Nile crocodile has lived right in these waters. Think about that. He has seen entire empires of lions rise and fall. He doesn't feel anger, he doesn't feel pride, he just waits.
And guys, this isn't just any crocodile. The scale we are dealing with here is genuinely terrifying. We're talking over 16 feet in length, weighing over half a ton. His skin is basically a mosaic of armored scutes, completely unyielding to teeth or claws. And he has these microscopic sensory pits along his jawline that actually detect the vibrations of the hyena's feeding frenzy through the earth itself. So with just this minimal flex of his huge muscular tail, he begins to rise. No bubbles, no ripples at all. He moves like a shadow until his cold, slit-pupiled eyes just break the surface to inhale that intoxicating scent of rotting hippo and fresh blood. Up on the bank, a young, lower-ranking hyena wanders down to the water's edge to cool off, completely forgetting the #1 golden rule of the Savanna: you never ever turn your back on the water. The ambush happens in literally a fraction of a second. A wall of muddy water just bursts upward. The crocodile's jaw snaps shut with an absolutely unbelievable 3,700 pounds per square inch of force. I mean, 66 razor-sharp teeth just crunch through the hyena's spine like it's made of dry twigs. He slams the hyena against the earth to stun it, and then effortlessly slides backward into the deep water. The river bubbles red. The laughing dies instantly. The entire hyena clan just freezes. The monster has officially arrived.
And that brings us to the War of Three Armies, as the lion pride returns.
See, the scent of blood is a beacon that just cannot be ignored out here. That lone lioness who fled earlier, yeah, she didn't just run away, her roars actually reached her pride. And from the ridge, a storm is descending. 3 massive black-maned male lions, each one weighing over 200 kilos, storm the riverbank, and they've got 4 more lionesses with them. The stakes have just escalated massively. This isn't a skirmish over a meal anymore. This is a full-blown war for dominance. The hyenas obviously instantly realize they're outmatched and just scatter into the brush. But the lions aren't going to get to eat in peace. The crocodile wants the hippo too, and he brought friends. 3 massive crocodiles break the surface to challenge the pride. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it maps out a chaotic 3-sided turf war based on their distinct biological designs. You have the lions fighting for terrestrial supremacy using their sheer physical bulk and claws, but they know they're hopelessly vulnerable in deep water. Then you have the crocodiles, heavily armored and totally unstoppable in the river, but kind of slow and awkward on the dry mud. And hovering right at the edges are the hyenas, opportunistic swarmers just waiting for a fatal distraction, but easily overpowered by the male lions. It is a terrifying, magnificent standoff. A male lion strikes the water, a croc hisses and lunges onto land. It's just claws raking against armor and teeth snapping at muscular legs.
But the real climax of this war, it doesn't actually happen on the muddy bank. While all this chaos reigns, a young lioness who got separated from the main pride makes a critical error. She needs to reach the opposite bank to secure the high ground, right? And to do so, she plunges right into the swift, deep brown current of the Mara River, about 100 yards upstream. She's a strong swimmer, paddling powerfully. But the exact moment she enters that current, she's no longer the apex predator. She's a trespasser in a completely foreign jurisdiction.
Downstream, a massive crocodile detects the displacement of the water. He immediately submerges. The lioness is halfway across when she feels it. The water around her becomes unnaturally still. The current itself literally seems to warp. She redoubles her efforts, breathing in these ragged gasps, with the sandy bank just 30 feet away. And then, the river turns to absolute violence. Striking right from below, the massive crocodile clamps his jaws directly onto her flank. The sheer, overwhelming impact drives the lioness violently underwater, right into the swirling mud.
For a terrifying moment, there is nothing but bubbles. But this lioness, she is a survivor. She doesn't panic. Under the crushing pressure of the river, her survival instincts become razor sharp. Beneath the surface, she forces her eyes open in the stinging mud. She physically twists her body within the crocodile's vice-like grip and turns her head directly toward the monster's face. In a frantic, totally desperate bid for her life, she unleashes her claws, raking them viciously across the crocodile's only real vulnerable points, his sensitive eyes and nostrils.
The pain and just the unexpected ferocity of her counterattack actually blind the crocodile. For just a fraction of a second, he loosens his grip, and that is literally all she needs. She breaks the surface, lungs burning, gasping for air, thrashing through the water, creating this massive wall of spray. She fights the current with every single ounce of strength she has left. Finally, her paws find the slippery mud of the shallows. Bleeding heavily from her side, she drags herself out of the river. She stands on the safe bank, turns right back to the water, and lets out this broken, defiant roar. The crocodile's yellow eye breaks the surface, just watching her, but he doesn't pursue. The ancient boundary between land and water has been reset.
Let's step back and look at how this builds. Let's trace the brutal chain of custody over the course of the day. Around midday, the carcass was claimed by the lone lioness. By the afternoon, the hyena clan completely took over, through that coordinated siege we talked about. By late afternoon, it escalated into a full-scale war between the returning male lions and the river's crocodiles.
And finally, at dusk, as the lions exhaustedly retreat to the high country with full bellies, and the crocs slide patiently back into the deep water, well, the hyenas return. They become the ultimate cleanup crew, cracking open the remaining bones in the dark to extract whatever marrow is left.
And this brings us right to the core theme of this incredible source material. We started off by talking about the War of the Hungry Gods, but the Hungry God, that's a title belonging to no single creature. It doesn't belong to the majestic male lions, or the militarized hyenas, or even the prehistoric crocodiles. No, it belongs to the unforgiving, endless cycle of the African savanna itself. This ecosystem is just a perfectly balanced machine where absolutely nothing goes to waste. The lions eat the flesh, the crocodiles take the unwary, and the hyenas consume the bones.
It's honestly such a humbling reality. We as humans, we love to crown animals as the king of the jungle or the undisputed apex predator. But the savanna proves that there is no permanent victor. There's only the endless cycle of the hunt, the defense, and the kill. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. In a brutal world where every king eventually bleeds, who truly rules the wild? Is it the strongest animal, or is it the unforgiving environment that created them all? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.